Have you ever looked at the work of your hands, your life, your career, your family, or even your prayers, and felt a crushing wave of disappointment? Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, the result is messy, unfinished, and unworthy of God? We live in a world that demands perfection. We are told that if the presentation isn't flawless, it has no value. If the career isn't stellar, we have failed. If our spiritual life isn't a perfect imitation of a saint, then God must be disappointed in us. But what if I told you that one of the greatest treasures of the Catholic Church, an image that has sparked miracles, conversions, and healings for nearly a century, was born in a moment of bitter tears? What if I told you that the very first time Saint Faustina saw the painting of divine mercy, she didn't rejoice, she cried. She looked at the face of Jesus on that canvas and felt that it was a failure. And yet, in that moment of human disappointment, Jesus revealed a secret that can save your soul from the crushing weight of perfectionism today. Before we step into the dusty studio of the artist and the quiet chapel where Faustina wept, let us build a sanctuary of trust right here, right now. We are about to speak of things that are fragile, our human inadequacy, and God's overwhelming power. If you are carrying a burden of feeling not good enough today, I invite you to set it down. In the comments below, I want you to make a simple act of surrender. Write the words, "Jesus, I trust in you." And if there is someone in your life, a child, a spouse, a friend, who feels broken or unworthy, write their first name next to that prayer. Let us place them in the rays of mercy together. Do this now as an act of faith that God can work through imperfections. Now, let us journey back to the city of Vilnius, to the year 1934. Imagine the atmosphere. It is a time of uncertainty between two world wars. But in the soul of a humble Polish nun, a different kind of battle is waging. Sister Faustina Kowalska has received a command that feels impossible. 3 years prior, in a cell in Płock, Jesus appeared to her clothed in a white garment, with one hand raised in blessing and the other touching his garment at the breast. From beneath the garment, 2 large rays issued forth, one red and the other pale. His command was specific, terrifyingly concrete. Paint an image according to the pattern you see, with the signature, "Jesus, I trust in you." Think of the pressure. Faustina is not an artist. She holds no degrees in theology. She is a gardener, a cook, a doorkeeper. She has no money, no canvas, no paints. Yet the creator of the universe has tasked her with capturing his likeness. For 3 years, this command burns in her soul. She tries to find someone, anyone, who can help her. Finally, through the help of her confessor, Father Michael Sopoćko, a secular artist named Eugeniusz Kazimierowski, is hired to undertake the task. For months, Faustina visits the artist's studio. Imagine the smell of turpentine and oil paint, the dust dancing in the shafts of light coming through the high windows. She sits, describing the indescribable. She tells the artist about the depth of his eyes, the specific posture of his hand, the exact hue of the rays that signify blood and water. The artist tries. He paints, he scrapes, he repaints. Father Sopoćko even poses, wearing an alb, trying to help the artist understand the drape of the fabric. It is a labor of intense human effort. It is the best that human hands can do. Finally, the day arrives. The painting is finished. The brush is laid down. The artist steps back. The image that we now know, the image that hangs in churches from the Philippines to Poland, from the Americas to Africa, is revealed to the Seance. Faustina looks at it. She sees the face. She sees the rays, and her heart breaks. It isn't tears of joy that fill her eyes. It is a profound, piercing grief. To her, the painting is not a masterpiece. It is a tragedy. Why? Because she has seen the original. She has looked into the eyes of the Son of God. She has seen the radiance that no color on earth can replicate. She compares the infinite majesty of the Jesus in her visions with this flat, painted figure on the canvas. and the gap is too wide to bear. It feels like a mockery of his beauty. She leaves the studio and rushes to the chapel. She falls to the floor, the salt of her tears hitting the cold stone. Listen to the honesty of her prayer. She does not pretend to be grateful. She does not put on a mask of piety. She cries out in diary entry 313 with a question that haunts every one of us who has ever tried to serve God and felt we fell short. Who will paint you as beautiful as you actually are? Can you feel the weight of that question? It is the cry of the mother who feels she hasn't loved her children enough. It is the cry of the sinner who feels their confession wasn't perfect enough. It is the cry of the human soul realizing that our mud and clay can never capture the glory of God. She is telling Jesus, "We failed. This image is ugly. It is not worthy of you." And here is where the rescue happens. Here is where the heavens open, and the logic of God shatters the expectations of man. Jesus hears her weeping. He sees her disappointment, and he speaks words that should be written on the walls of your heart. He does not say, "Go back and fix it." He does not say, "Find a better artist." He says to her, "Not in the beauty of the color, nor of the brush lies the greatness of this image, but in my grace." Let those words sink into the marrow of your bones. Not in the beauty of the color, not in the skill of the brush. Jesus is revealing a fundamental law of divine mercy. God does not need the vessel to be perfect. He only needs it to be offered. The painting was not powerful because of the talent of the painter. It was not powerful because of the accuracy of the brushstrokes. It was powerful because Jesus decided to attach his grace to it. The power was not in the object. The power was in the promise. This is the first great rescue of this story. Jesus separates the value of the work from the quality of the work. We humans judge by the brush. We judge by appearances, by success, by numbers, by how beautiful our life looks from the outside. But Jesus tells Faustina that the greatness of the image lies in something invisible. His grace. He is telling her, "I can work through this bad painting. I can work through this clumsy attempt. I can pour an ocean of mercy through a vessel that you think is unworthy." If Jesus can say that about a painting, what is he saying about you? Think of your life as that canvas. Maybe you feel that the colors of your life are dull. You don't have the talents or the wealth that others have. Maybe you feel the brush strokes of your history are messy. Mistakes, sins, broken relationships, years of time wasted away from God. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, "Lord, who will paint me as beautiful as a saint should be? I am a mess." And Jesus looks at you, broken, unfinished, imperfect you, and he says, "The greatness of your soul does not lie in your perfection, nor in your success, but in my grace." This brings us to a second, deeper encounter in the diary that reinforces this life-saving truth. It wasn't just the painting that made Faustina feel inadequate. It was her very mission itself. There were times when Saint Faustina felt completely unequipped to write the diary. She had very little education. She had barely attended school. Her spelling was poor. Her handwriting was difficult, and she often didn't know the right theological terms. The task of writing down these high revelations felt overwhelming. The devil often tempted her, telling her she was writing nonsense, that she was a fool, that she should burn her notebooks. And in fact, in a moment of darkness and confusion, she actually did burn her first notebook. She destroyed the work because she believed it wasn't good enough, that she had been deluded. When she later confessed this to her spiritual director and then spoke to Jesus, did he condemn her for her weakness? Did he fire her from her job as the Secretary of Mercy, number? In a subsequent vision, Jesus instructed her to rewrite what she could remember. But then he gave her an assurance that answers our fear of being unqualified. He told her, "My daughter, you have not offered me that which is really yours. Give me your misery, for it is your exclusive property." See the pattern. With the painting, he didn't demand a better artist. He added his grace to the poor painting. With her soul, He didn't demand her to offer him virtues she didn't possess. He asked for her misery. He asked for the very thing she was ashamed of. This is the scandal of mercy. The world tells you to hide your weaknesses. Jesus tells you to bring them to the front. Why? Because his power is made perfect in weakness. A perfect painting draws attention to the painter. A perfect person draws attention to themselves. But a broken vessel that holds the water of life, that proves that the water comes from God. Let us go deeper into the mystery of the image itself. For within its imperfect lines are 3 specific promises that Jesus attached to it, promises that are meant for you, regardless of how ugly you feel your spiritual life is right now. When Faustina looked at that painting and cried, she missed what Jesus was actually doing. She was looking at the aesthetics. Jesus was building a lifeline. Jesus told her in Diary Entry 48, "I am offering people a vessel with which they are to keep coming for graces to the fountain of mercy." That vessel is this image with the signature, "Jesus, I trust in you." Notice the word vessel. A vessel is a container. A cup doesn't have to be gold to hold water. It just has to be open. The image is a point of contact. Jesus promised that through this image, he would grant many graces to souls. It acts as a conduit. When you look at the divine mercy image, you are not looking at art. You are looking at a spiritual door. And what flows through that door? The 2 rays. Faustina asked Jesus about the meaning of these rays, and he explained, the 2 rays denote blood and water. The pale ray stands for the water, which makes souls righteous. The red ray stands for the blood, which is the life of souls. These 2 rays issued forth from the very depths of my tender mercy when my agonized heart was opened by a lance on the cross. Here is the connection to your fear. The water makes souls righteous. That means it cleanses the dirty. It doesn't polish the clean. It washes the stained. The blood is the life of souls. It resuscitates the dead. These rays are not for the perfect. They are for the dying, the dirty, the lost, and the broken. The ugliness of the painting in Faustina's eyes could not stop the flow of these rays. In the same way, the ugliness of your current situation, your addiction, your anger, your fear, your past abortion, your betrayal, your failure, cannot stop the flow of God's mercy, provided you present the vessel. And what is the vessel of your soul? It is the signature on the painting. Trust. Jesus, I trust in you. This is the key that unlocks the treasury. Jesus told Faustina, the graces of my mercy are drawn by means of one vessel only, and that is trust. The more a soul trusts, the more it will receive. He did not say, the more a soul is perfect, the more it will receive. He did not say, the more a soul fasts, the more it will receive. He said trust. A sinner who trusts deeply will receive more than a righteous person who trusts only a little. This is why Faustina's weeping was converted into mission. She understood that her job was not to produce a masterpiece of art, but to lead people to the Master of Mercy. She had to let go of her control over the outcome. Let's bring this into the reality of your life today. We often treat our spiritual lives like Faustina treated that painting. We want it to look a certain way. We have a vision in our heads of what a good Catholic or a good Christian looks like. They are patient. They pray the rosary with perfect concentration. They never lose their temper. Their children are angels, and they feel God's presence constantly. But when we look at the canvas of our actual days, we see smudges. We see the time we yelled at our spouse. We see the prayer time where we were distracted by worry. We see the habit we can't seem to break. We look at our life and we weep, saying, "Who will paint me into a saint? This looks terrible." And Jesus stands beside you in your personal chapel, looks at the messy canvas of your life and says, "Not in the beauty of your performance, nor in the perfection of your will lies the greatness of your sanctity, but in my grace." He is asking you to stop trying to be the painter and start being the canvas. Let him apply the grace. There is a third encounter. a profound vision given to Saint Faustina that seals this truth. It is a vision about the final judgment, but it turns the concept of worthy upside down. Faustina was terrified of the judgment of God. She knew the holiness of God was so absolute that even the angels tremble. One day, Jesus spoke to her about the souls who are closest to his heart. You might think he would list the great martyrs or the theologians. Instead, he said, "The greater the sinner, the greater the right he has to my mercy." Diary 723. This is the impossible hook of the gospel. In the human world, if you commit a crime, you lose your rights. In the kingdom of mercy, if you commit a sin and turn to Jesus, you gain a right to his mercy. It is a claim you can make on his heart. Jesus told Faustina that when a soul approaches him with trust, he cannot punish them even if their sins were as scarlet. Why? Because his heart is an ocean. Imagine a dirty drop of water falling into the Pacific Ocean. Does the ocean become dirty? No, the drop is consumed. The salt and the vastness of the ocean purify and overwhelm that tiny drop. Jesus told Faustina, "My mercy is greater than your sins and those of the entire world." When Faustina cried over the painting, she was looking at a drop of human failure. Jesus was pointing her to the ocean of his power. So, how do we apply this? How do we walk out of this video and live this truth? 1. Stop critiquing your own prayer. When you pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet or the Rosary, or simply talk to God and you feel it is dry, distracted, or ugly, do not stop. Do not weep over the poor quality of your prayer. Offer it anyway. Say to Jesus, "Lord, this prayer is painted with a clumsy brush, but I offer it in the vessel of trust. Supply what is lacking with your grace." He prefers a humble, imperfect prayer to a proud, perfect one. 2. Use the image as a shield. Jesus promised that, by means of this image, I shall grant many graces to souls. It is to be a reminder of the demands of my mercy. If you do not have this image in your home, get one. It doesn't matter if it's a small prayer card or a framed print. It doesn't matter if it's the version by Kazimierowski, the one Faustina saw, or the later version by Hyla. Remember, the power is not in the paint. It is in the grace attached to it. Put it where you can see it. When you feel overwhelmed, look at his hand raised in blessing. That blessing is for you. 3. Embrace your role as a clumsy artist. You are trying to paint the image of Christ in your children, in your workplace, in your community. You will make mistakes. You will have days where you misrepresent him. When that happens, apologize, go to confession, and then, this is crucial, stop looking at the painting, look at Jesus. Faustina's mistake was focusing on the canvas instead of the Savior. Don't stare at your sins. Stare at his mercy. As we conclude, I want you to imagine Saint Faustina one last time, years after that day in the studio. She lay on her deathbed. She was only 33 years old. Her body was ravaged by tuberculosis. To the eyes of the world, her life was a mess. Unfinished, painful, hidden away in a convent. She had not founded a great order. She had not written a theological masterpiece that was famous in her lifetime. She was just a nun who died young. But because she trusted, because she accepted that the beauty is in the grace, she became the secretary of divine mercy for the entire world. That ugly painting she cried over, it is now venerated by millions. It was the vessel that brought the message of hope to a world broken by World War II, by communism, by atheism, and by despair. God used the imperfect thing to confound the wise. He wants to do the same with you. He is not asking for your perfection. He is asking for your permission. He is asking you to hand him the brush, even if your hand is shaking. So dry your tears. Do not weep because you are not perfect. Rejoice, because he is mercy itself. The painting is finished enough for him to work. Your life is open enough for him to enter. Let us close with the words that Jesus gave to Faustina, words that turn our panic into peace. He said to her, and he says to you right now, "Let no soul fear to draw near to me, even though its sins be as scarlet." Mankind will not have peace until it turns with trust to my mercy. You are safe in his hands, not because you are good, but because he is merciful. Go in that peace, and remember, whenever you look at that image of divine mercy and you see the face of Jesus, you are not looking at a picture of a judge. You are looking at the face of a lover who says, I can work with this, I can save this, I love this. Jesus, we trust in you.